and mumps.
I've had
is
everything:
no joke.
measles,
I haven't had
chickenpox,
anything.
mumps.
Oh, mumps!
Yeah,
I hate
nothing.
mumps.
I had
chickenpox as an adult.
Yeah, mumps was painful. The
Painful.
jaw,
When it
right?
all
Yeah, right,
swells up.
yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Like, damn it,
I don't know if mum still goes around though. I don't
I
hear
don't know.
of it much
I had
anymore.
everything when I was in primary school.
Oh, lucky you.
Which
It was
Oh, no, no,
going
St.
to?
Chickenpox I
Stephen's.
had when I was in the army. Oh my god, that was horrible.
Hey!
Our next guest.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Hi.
Long time. How are you?
We're live already.
We're live on
We're
air.
live on
That's your
Facebook.
seat.
Wave at
Okay.
everyone. Please
This
have a
is-
seat.
Hello.
You can wave. That's our camera there, and that's
That's
how,
what
what
people
they
see.
see.
Okay.
You can put the headphones on.
See if you can hear
It's so
yourself.
good to have you in the studio. We just had Charanjit in the studio as well. He's also someone we spoke to virtually.
Right.
And we invited him. He was in
Uh-huh.
Poland. Came back to Singapore. So
Oh.
he came
Yeah,
into the
that's
studio as
amazing,
well. We are
Okay.
so happy to have you here today.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You know what, Matthias? I have to say, firstly, I mean, this camera, this Leica.
Yeah.
What has it seen?
Wow.
Sunil, are you tuned in?
What is this camera first? What is it? What is the model?
It's a Leica MP240.
How old is it?
It's about, I've been using this for about 13 years.
13
Wow.
years. So she's seen a lot.
Oh, yes, lots of it. You know, if this camera can speak, then.
What would she say?
She'll tell a lot of stories. Lots of it.
It's a
He-
gorgeous one.
He went through a lot, you know, a lot of bashing.
Yeah.
I thought he wouldn't survive in Ukraine, but he
And-
did.
So
course.
all the photos that you've taken in the Ukraine are all because of this camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
that's something.
Okay. We're going to be
And
showing some
13 years
pictures.
ago, not many people knew about Leica.
Well, Leica's been around for.
I know,
for
but what I'm
years.
saying is now it's,
It's
like
it's a
oh,
thing.
everyone-
It's
Yeah,
an in
it's a
thing.
thing,
Yes.
exactly, right?
It's got a resurgence, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Leica's been around for
Of
decades.
course.
Oh,
Of
yes.
course.
Yes, more than 100 years.
More than 100 years.
More than
There you go.
100
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's a long
And the
time.
Queen
I've
used
only
it as well.
heard about Leica when they collab with Huawei.
There you go. Really?
Yeah.
Is that true? Wow.
Leica
Then I
is huge.
Wow,
Yeah, it's
100
for real
years.
photographers.
Mind blowing.
Yes.
Yeah. The optics
choice.
is fantastic.
In
Yeah.
Singapore, you need to market these things to people.
True.
If not,
Yes.
they won't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're lost.
And once it starts to be trendy, everyone wants a
Everyone
part
wants
of it.
one, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not a cheap one. This one.
It's not a cheap camera, no.
Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about your time in the Ukraine since we last saw you.
Yeah.
In about 30 seconds, we'll go on air anyway.
Yeah.
What you're doing while you're here? Are you doing anything while you're here?
No,
What are
I'm
you doing?
just meeting up people,
Okay,
having
okay.
meetings,
Okay.
and chilling out a bit.
Okay,
Good.
all right. Okay, we'll talk a bit
Good.
about that.
Yeah, so dangerous, lah.
Uh,
What you did.
And not just Ukraine. We'll talk about that. He hasn't just
Yeah.
been to the Ukraine.
We were so worried for you after talking
Yeah.
to you. Suddenly, it dawned on us
It's
like,
like-
wow, the risk you were putting yourself in. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going on air now.
Okay.
Lovely standby one
Yeah.
traffic in 3, 2.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
So we've got the usual delays across the expressways. The CTE towards the AYE, a vehicle broken down after the PIE Jurong exit. Again on the CTE towards the AYE, a vehicle broken down after Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5. Boundary Road towards Lorong Chuan, an accident after Serangoon Avenue 3. PIE towards Changi, a vehicle broken down after Bukit Timah Road exit. And on Pioneer Road towards the city, a vehicle broken down after Benoi Road. On the PIE towards Tuas, an accident after Simei Road exit. Look out for those areas, please. Stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome back to the biggest and best breakfast show in the world. Our second guest for this morning is someone we spoke to virtually a few months ago. Not that long ago, actually.
I think in March or April.
Yeah, he was in Ukraine when the Russians were dropping bombs on Ukraine and all that, and he was in bomb shelter and talking to us.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is international photojournalist Mathias Heng. Welcome to the show and welcome
you.
to the studio,
Thank
Mathias.
you. Yes, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you here, Matthias. Now, Glenn was saying
I'm so
you-
glad you're safe. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
I'm so glad
Yeah.
you are safe.
But this is not his first foray into war-torn countries. I mean, Matthias, you've been to Afghanistan as well.
Yeah.
You were in Iraq as well.
Yeah.
You were in Tiananmen Square as well.
Yes.
Where else have you been?
I was in Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
I was in Bougainville and I was in Mandi covering the tribal war.
Wow. Okay.
And I was in East Timor as well.
So what?
Wow.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, which was the worst environment to be in?
Every war is a different war. I think the worst was in Iraq, because Iraq was a full-fledged war. You know, the whole country was in conflict. So wherever I went, there was fighting everywhere, regardless whether you're in the north or south. So Ukraine is, as I mentioned, it's a different war because now they use technology, they use drones, they use a lot of artillery shells, bombing. So you do meet close contact, combat fighting, but that is quite rare. So it's all through, using drones, missiles.
Yeah, but we got reports out of the Ukraine of journalists and photographers being shot by snipers and all kinds of stories.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine, only recently he was injured. Unfortunately, the driver didn't make it. They ran over a landmine.
Oh, wow.
So he's safe now. He's been flown back to Milan.
So how did you get started? Because it takes a certain special kind of someone to go out there, put yourself in danger, just so that you can tell the entire world what is actually happening.
I almost want to say the courage to be crazy.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, it's insane. Like what got you first started in photojournalism?
Well, when I was growing up, I was very much into photography, but at that young age. At that time, the only thing you expose is commercial and fashion. So that's where I went to it. So I was a fashion photographer as well as a commercial photographer. And
You were bored.
as time went by, my level of photography sort of grew in a different level. Then I knew I wanted to do journalism because I got a lot of much love for humanity. And I wanted to tell stories. So what I did my commercial work, my fashion work, and I started funding through those work, and I started doing personal projects. And that's when I started knocking doors. And at that time was film. So, you got to carry a portfolio case, and, you got to knock doors and show people all your prints.
Yeah. Now it's so much easier, right?
It's much easiar, but it's also much difficult as well in a different way.
Mathias is just absolutely amazing. I mean, his photos are brilliant. They tell all kinds of stories, and you're in for a treat. And that's why 1FM 91.3's Big Show is the best show in the world, because Mathias is going to be showing us some photos from Kharkiv and explain these photos as well, exclusively on the Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Modern Talking. You can win if you want on 1FM 91.3.
Okay, Sean, we're going to show some pictures.
Yes.
Okay, Sean's going to get some pictures out. You guys watching us on the Big Show TV will see some of these pictures. Give you an idea of what Mathias does.
And where is Kharkiv in relation to Ukraine?
It's quite near to, it's about 600 kilometers from the border of Russia.
Okay.
Right, Big Show fans, you're in for a treat.
So would you say that's one of the most dangerous zones because it's so close?
Yes. At the moment now they're fighting in Donbass.
That's right. Yeah.
And Kharkiv was only about, the closest they were fighting was 25 kilometers. Then the Russian pulled out. And then they went to Izium. Izium is about 150 kilometers from Kharkiv. And now the Russians, just a couple of days, they have pulled out as well.
Okay, that's good news then.
Yeah.
Okay, so things are calming down a little bit?
Yes, it is, but it's very unpredictable. So people out there, like in Kharkiv and in Kiev, life has gone normal. Like cafes are open.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right.
Clubs and everything's
Clubs
open.
are open
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Wow, okay.
They have music but the thing is that people are very uncertain. They don't know when the bomb is going to land.
There's a certain sense of you're not sure what's
Yeah.
happening, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm sure.
So that's how you pronounce it.
Kharkiv, yeah.
I said Kharkiv.
So did I.
Yeah.
Kharkiv.
Kharkiv.
So where did you live while you were in the Ukraine?
I was all over the place,
Clearly not a hotel, right? I mean, were they open? Were there hostels?
No, the hotel was open, but most of the time is fully occupied by foreign journalists. So
Right.
I was pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. I had contacts there, I had friends, and a lot of them evacuated and left, and they just left the building, their apartments. And it's like, hey, look, you want to stay?
Oh, so they gave you their apartments to
Yeah.
live in, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's
But,
that's a
it,
good
but
thing.
it came to a point as well, it wasn't safe. Because most of the apartments I was living in, I was the only person there. So it was not safe.
Could
at
you get
all.
food and drink? And I mean, was it difficult?
Depends.
Yeah.
So if I do get food, then I'll stock them. Then they'll come to a point whereby there's no food.
You're
at
out
all.
of food, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
You must have seen so many things, through the years and stuff. I'm sure you've seen like dead bodies and stuff.
Yeah, lots of it, even in Ukraine.
Oh.
So I
How do you
didn't
deal
post
with
my
that?
photos.
It's like psychologically, I mean,
I do get burnout. I'll be
Okay.
honest with you. But while I'm working, I just push the emotions aside. But by the end of the day, it's
You're
just
exhausted.
I get really exhausted,
Right.
burnout.
Can you tell us about this image?
Okay, this image was this was the first day when I landed in Kharkiv. So this is one of the government buildings, and in Kharkiv, this building was not shell; it was an airstrike. So
Oh, wow.
so they flew in. Kharkiv was the only city that the Russians flew in and did with their Su-25 and Su-28, and they used air missiles.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Next image, Shalini.
Okay, this was in the train station. So over there, the underground station is really deep in. So there's a safest place to be. So there's bombing going on. It's more likely you won't be affected because it's about 600 meters deep.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So people live in the train carriage.
Oh,
They
right.
make that
I see.
their home.
Okay.
Wow.
Next one.
okay.
Oh wow.
So this
That's
is
inside.
Yeah, this show the inside of it. So in the train carriage, people live in really small space. So they make do what they have.
This could be our MRT,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
just
similar,
want to
yes.
tell Singaporeans,
Yeah.
don't take
Yeah.
all that we have for
For
granted.
granted.
Yeah.
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 You know,
And of course, in the train station when you live there, life can be very monotonous and very boring after a while. Every day is the same. They got nothing else to do. But the people they're very innovative. Like this guy, he's doing a haircut. He's not even a hairdresser.
Yeah.
So what he did, he just took it up and started cutting people's
His
hair.
hair, yeah.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah, and of course he wanted to cut my hair as well. I said,
He's like, you look like you need a cut.
yeah, he offered me,
I'm
so,
sure you stayed far away from
yeah,
it.
I
Don't
said,
touch
no,
my beautiful
no,
hair.
thank you. Yeah.
What about communication? I mean, do you speak Ukrainian? I mean, how did you communicate?
I don't. I only know a few keywords. Luckily, fortunately, there are a few Ukrainians that could speak English. I have a fixer as well.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
But I'm not with my fixer all the time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's better to be without your fixer, because with your fixer, then there's a bit of interference in terms of people might not feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd rather be on my own, although I don't speak the language, but I use
Sign language and stuff.
Yeah, body language, eye contact. Then once I get my photos, and I get my fixer to come in and do the translation for me.
Who recommends the fixer?
I look around because during the invasion, you hardly find any fixers.
Right.
So a lot of my fixers, they are not even fixers
full time.
full time.
Yeah.
Like the last fixer I had, she's a yoga teacher.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and she speaks fluent English. She speaks Ukrainian. She speaks Russian. So
And she's very calm.
she's zen. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
calm. But even how come you get tensed up.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
At the height of the conflict, how did you get around? Were you part of military escorts? How did it work?
No,
how did you get around?
I move around, get a car, and to get a vehicle is rather difficult as well. So it's all connection. It's all networking. I work with the army specialist. So I don't work with a battalion. So when I'm in the front line, we work in small groups, like 8 to 10 of us. So I mainly work with snipers and those guys who shoot the tanks using the anti-low missiles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matthias, I know you don't do this for the money, but is it a good living?
It used to be good. Of course, I need to survive. I do this as a living, but not as good as being a commercial photographer.
Of course. Yeah. Okay.
So in journalism, I think this is the worst paid in the sense that the work that we do,
And
the
the
hours that we put in,
Yeah.
compared to a commercial photographer.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, hold on,
One
Matthias.
second.
We'll go on air and talk about this a little bit more. The River of Dreams, Billy Joel, right here on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for this morning is international photojournalist Mathias Heng.
So, Matthias, we're talking to you a little bit about your time in Ukraine, but it's not just Ukraine that you've traveled to. Obviously, you've been to Afghanistan, Iraq, Tiananmen Square, Papua New Guinea, like you mentioned before. Have you had any near-death experiences?
Oh yes, many times.
Tell us.
My life, I'm like a cat.
9 lives.
Yeah.
Tell us the one that sticks with you.
The one that sticks with me was in Iraq because I almost got shot, almost got killed twice.
Wow.
Deliberately.
Deliberately.
They are not on crossfire. I mean, when you get crossfires, you know that you're at risk. Of course, in Ukraine as well was close call. The missile landed 80 meters the closest to us.
And yet you keep going back.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
still have
On the
it.
golf course, the ball lands 80 meters away from me. I'm cursing and swearing.
Wow, barely the same thing, but incredible.
Wow.
Where to next?
I'm going back to Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do some work there and be there for a couple of weeks.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Where to next for war zones?
Warzone. I'm thinking I'm going back to Ukraine.
Okay.
But nothing's finalized yet. So I'm in talking terms with my contacts. And it's not very stable at the moment in terms of the front line. I'm getting news from my colleagues. I call them colleagues because I work with them. They've been injured and I know a few of them been killed, been shot. So sometimes I just reflect. And it's like, is it worth? But
And is it?
on the other hand, he's telling me that the story's got to come out.
True.
Yeah.
True. And you do this in photographs, and you probably have a better experience than this than most people. We've seen what's happened in the Ukraine. You've been there firsthand. Is the Ukraine ever going to, in your mind, overcome this war? Because a lot of people said, they should have just succumbed, get it over with. Because the Russians seem to be destroying so much of the Ukraine. Will they ever get back to what
Maybe
they
this
were?
question is not for Matthias. This question is for Nicholas Pham.
No, but just in his mind, he's been there.
Yeah. In my opinion, the Ukrainians are very passionate about their country.
Very resilient as well.
Whether they win the war or not, that's another question. But they're very determined. When I say very determined, they're willing to sacrifice their lives. So I met so many of them. They were not soldiers at that time. They were teenagers, and even like young adults. Sorry, I take it back. Not teenagers, young adults in their 20s. They were like doing computer work,
And they were forced to become
selling.
soldiers, right?
I wouldn't say they forced. They volunteer.
They volunteer.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so I met so many of them. I met this guy in particular. He's only 25 years old. He was an IT guy, and then when he started carrying arms, his mindset was totally different. He just wants to get back his country.
Amazing. Amazing.
You know, Matthias, I asked you this question just now on the Big Show TV. I mean, you've been doing this for quite some time. You know, I know you're not doing this for the money, but is it a good living?
Enough to survive. It used to be better, and now is getting more difficult because unfortunately people are using iPhones to do their TV reporting.
Photography.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Not photography, but
TV reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
was quite surprised. I was with this cameraman, and we were out together, and we came out from the car, and I was like, "Where's your camera?" And it's like he had a gimbal,
Oh.
and his iPhone said, "This is it."
Yeah.
I said, "What? Are you serious?"
Shoots in 4K now.
So
Yeah.
so clearly you're not a fan. You're a traditionalist.
I am a traditionalist. I mean, okay, iPhone or smartphone can do the job, but if you want quality resolution, then you won't get it.
Right.
And
So
what's your
it's all
weapon of
depends.
choice when you're out there?
The camera.
Which is which camera?
I use my Leica camera. As always, I've not used other brands since I use Leica.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
then-
So this camera's been with me for. I mean, I've been using this model
Yeah.
Yeah.
for 30 years.
Is this
Sunil, you
model
hear
still-
that, Sunil? I know
Is
Sunil
this
might be
model still
watching.
available for sale? What is this one? This is the
MP240. I think it's still
It
available,
is, right?
but because now they've got newer models. They've got the M10, they've got the
yeah.
M11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
Weapon
a
of
solid
choice.
model.
It is. I mean, you look at all the
Yeah,
dings and
it's,
all that, and it's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's made of brass. You
Yeah.
know, I always thought I damage the camera because when I'm out there, I have my armor vest.
Yeah.
And my armor vest is level 4 armor vest, so which means you got different levels. So a level 4, someone uses an M16 or a Kalashnikov, shoots me and
You'll be
goes
okay.
through.
Yeah.
I mean, I will fly.
Yeah.
It will hurt me really bad, but it will not kill me because it will not penetrate.
Wow. Okay. How many levels of armor vests are there?
They got level 5.
Okay.
And so every time I run, I swing my camera and my armor vest around my body he hits, so metal to metal. So I hear the
dinging, yeah.
Yep.
Ding, ding, ding.
So I always thought
It's gone.
I broke my lens or I broke the
Yeah.
viewfinder, but surprisingly it's still going.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Toughness.
Testament to the Leica MP240.
Proven.
And just very, very quickly before we let Matthias go, Angel did mention earlier on if you've ever come close to being shot or anything like that, and you did mention in Iraq on
yeah.
2 occasions.
2 occasions, yeah.
They almost took your life.
Yep. So I can tell you what happened. My first occasion was we were from Baghdad. We were going to Basra, and at that time the train was the first time they were in operation. So we decided to go by train, safest way. And for some reason, the train had to stop in one of the stations, and we're not supposed to, but it stopped. And we were not supposed to be there, so we went quiet, went low profile. But unfortunately, people spotted us, and kids, they got excited to see a foreigner,
Yeah.
and started throwing rocks at us. This is wanted attention, and before we know it, 3 guys with RPG, and was about to fire at us, And my correspondent was fast enough. He jumped out of the carriage and started waving and shouting at them.
That you were press.
Yeah, he was just trying to convince them that, no, look, these guys, they're trying to help us. They're trying to get a story out.
Yeah.
So we got out of it. And so it then came to a point, it became too intense that we had to leave. So we managed to get a vehicle. We got a vehicle, and the driver took us and out of the blues, and the driver said, look, run out of gas. I was like, no, we can't stay here. We have to go. And luckily enough, there was a U.S. convoy. So we stopped the U.S., and the U.S. took us in, fill up a patrol, and went to Basra. So the next morning, everything was normal market, everything was going on, And 2 guys came up to me and they greeted me in Arabic. They said, Assalamu alaikum, and I said, Malaikum salam. And the guy looked at me from top to bottom.
Yeah.
and one guy behind, and he spoke in Arabic, which thank goodness I didn't understand. But my correspondent was only about 3 meters away, and he said, "What are you waiting for? Shoot him." From the back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, and the guy said, "I can't shoot him." Just at that time, he was about to do that. There's the British Army. They were on patrol. I said, "The British Army." So they left. And of course, I had no clue at all. So
Until later.
I just kept taking photos, and my correspondent told me, said, "We have to go." I said, No. We have to take photos. I need to get photos out.
Yeah.
And his tone just changed and said, "Matthias, we have to go now." So I knew something was wrong.
Right.
And you left.
So I mean, walk and say, "So there's two guys out there, they were at the car." I said, "They wanted to kill you."
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was an intense
Encounter.
experience
Yeah.
that you just.
All this
Yeah,
before
I'm
breakfast,
feeling
you know.
it. I'm feeling it as well.
Wow.
Let's go to
It's time.
something.
Yes. Thank you once again,
and
Mathias,
sports,
for joining us today. So nice to have you in the studio.
No, thank you too. Thank you for inviting me.
All right.
Thanks, Mathias.
Headline news and sports up next.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can show.
let's show.
we'll-
So we're on
yeah.
Facebook still. So we'll look at the
You can
okay.
go through
So
some of
this
the
looks like a
photos.
train station still.
Yeah, that's in the train station. So as you can see, this guy carrying bags, this food supplied by volunteers. They cook for them, and that's how they live in the train station living condition. And as you can see, people maximize the space.
Wow.
Is there like electricity and everything there?
Yes, there was.
Wow.
Yeah, surprisingly.
The trains are still running, right?
No,
No.
the train wasn't
No.
running because it was not safe.
Okay.
So they use
Right.
that. They use it as
Shelter.
shelter.
Shelters.
Yeah, because that was the safest place to
Yeah.
go. So if there's any bombing, it's more likely it will not affect us, unless it's they used
Yeah.
100 tons of bomb,
Yeah.
Yeah.
penetrate.
But it's so horrible how their lives just changed overnight.
Overnight.
after the war started.
Yeah.
February
Yeah.
24th.
You know, everything was going so well. You know,
Yeah.
the city
Yeah.
was beautiful, and
Yeah.
now it looks like everything's been destroyed.
Unfortunately, so
Ask you a question. Was everyone affected, or was it only the poor that were affected?
everybody was affected.
Everyone?
So when the invasion took place, the invasion war, Ukrainian became as one. Everybody was the same, regardless of whether you are rich or you're poor. Everybody was the same. Yeah.
Tell us about this one.
This was the they used the N-law missile to shoot the Russian tanks. So before they got weapons from overseas aid, they were using RPGs. RPGs is not strong enough. It takes
Yeah.
about 3 to 4 RPGs to destroy a tank.
Wow.
And it's too slow because if you use one RPG, by then you fire, you reload, you'll be spotted, they will shoot you down.
Do you carry a weapon when you're out there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I was given the weapon to use, but I refused.
Okay.
But I was given like first aid on my own. And what's this word called? The tenet that ties you if you go.
Tourniquet.
Oh,
Okay.
tourniquet.
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet,
Yes,
yeah, just in
tourniquet, yep.
case. Okay.
So they give you way beforehand. So when that happens, this is serious. There's no turning back. Anything happens, that you take your own responsibility.
Wow, you must travel really light.
Yeah, that's why.
Right.
That's why I decided only to. I took a risk. I didn't even carry. Usually, I carry about 3 camera bodies.
Yeah.
But this time around, I only carried one camera body.
And you chose this.
Yeah, and because every time I carry extra camera bodies, it doesn't break down at all.
What about like when you're
Yeah,
sending
so
the
we-
photos back and all that? How do you do that? You have a computer?
I have a laptop.
You have a laptop with you, okay.
And surprisingly, the internet is pretty good.
Where do you charge your equipment?
I use solar.
Solar, okay.
Wow.
Wow, for your phone and your laptop and
Yeah,
everything.
laptop, yeah.
Amazing.
And
Okay.
then sometimes I use the car charger.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but being said that you're on the front line, your phone has got to be totally switched off.
Right.
Because they use it for tracking.
Yeah, but even if you put an airplane mode, it doesn't work because it can detect your location.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the risk is you're on the front line, your phone is switched off. Anything happens, you are in no connection. Nobody knows where you are.
Wow.
How long have you gone offline? Like the longest?
A week.
Oh my goodness.
Off the grid for a week. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And family and friends, what do they have to say about?
must
Of
be
course, they're
so
pretty worried,
concerned,
you know.
yeah.
So I get calls, I get messages, you know. It's like, you know, be safe, come back. You know, when
Yeah.
you're coming back, I think it's time for you to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but sometimes I feel that it's not enough. You know, it's got to do it. But people are, I mean, they're concerned
Of course.
Yeah.
because when you're in a war zone for too long, you got no emotions anymore.
Yeah.
I've seen how the way they work, you know, like the bomb drops, you know, it's like they can just walk and it's like
Nothing.
nothing happens.
It looks like you're in the car here.
Yes, we are going to the front line. This is a group of soldiers that I was working with. I work with different
Ukrainians?
troops. Ukrainians, yeah. So in that vehicle, there are lots of weapons, you know. Yeah, a lot of ammo. This is in one of the houses that I visited. Not houses, rather apartments, flats, and they have underground. But it's not even a shelter actually. It's more like a storeroom.
Right.
But it's better than living in the apartment because you know if a shell lands on it, it will just blow everything. Even if the bomb lands, say 50 meters or 100 meters, you think you're safe, but you're not because if you have window glass. All the window glass was just shattered.
Shatters.
And then when it shatters, right, then you get a spray of broken glasses
Yeah.
right to your face,
Yeah,
all over
yeah.
the place. So
Yeah.
what we do as well, with our armor vest, sometimes we don't wear it. So when in the vehicle, we put our armor vest
Against
over the
windows.
window,
Right. Okay. Yeah. To
Oh,
protect it.
right.
protect it. So yeah, so initially I was like, you know, why do that?
Yeah.
So, you know, but by doing that, so if you know we get shot or whatever,
The head is
Makes
protected
sense.
as well.
yeah, everything's protected.
Just a question. I mean, it started in February, it went through spring and summer, and now autumn. What's going to happen during winter?
It's going to be bad. Winter is really bad because I was there during winter. It was so cold.
Oh, yeah, you were there end of winter, right? February?
February,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was still cold. Even in March, April, it was still snowing.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So it's unbelievable. You know, it's no shower, no hot water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Another photo here. This looks like a really old lady.
Yeah,
Poor thing.
yeah. This lady, you know, it's very unfortunate. She's on a wheelchair, so they brought her down to the shelter, and she stays there all day. Her daughter will come in the morning, clean her up, feed her, and she's just sitting there all day. You know.
Wow.
So there's no way she could escape to evacuate. This is a Russian helicopter was shot down by the Ukrainians. So even with that, yeah, you got to be careful when you walk around this open ground because sometimes
Landmines.
landmines, yeah,
Wow.
or even a lot of missiles. You know, it was shot. It was not
Detonated.
Unexploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's
Wow.
this one?
So this is a Russian tank.
Tank.
So when they use an NLAW missile, and that's what happens. You know, one shoot, it hits, it blows.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can see, you know, the background is a civilian, you know, working on his home.
Yeah.
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 This is another one then.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So this, I mean, I got a lot of shows which is very, very graphic. So I didn't set it.
This is blood,
But
is it?
No, this is actually human remains, the fluid.
Oh, so the
Wow.
wow.
So it was there for I don't know how long. So when you lift up the body and it caused
That's
the
what's-
imprint of the
Oh shoot.
yeah.
This is our last photo.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Thanks
So
for sharing.
you can smell it. When you smell it, you know it.
Okay.
So where your photos are on your website?
Yes,
People can also purchase them.
Yep.
Okay.
absolutely.
And website is mathiasheng.com.
Yeah.
Okay, with one T.
Yes. a single T.
MATHIASHENG.com. Thank you so much, Mathias. That was
Thanks so
very
much.
Thank you.
insightful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
wonder
for
how long
inviting
more
me.
you're going to do this for. But,
I'll keep doing.
For as long as you can.
I'm full of beans. You know, I'm still full of energy. I'll still do it, but
Who do you shoot for, Mathias?
I freelance.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah.
but different
Different
publications,
papers, different publications.
countries as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
they can just get in touch with you and
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I sell to private collectors as well.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
MathiasHeng.com, everyone.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matthias.
Thanks,
All the
Matthias.
best. Be safe.
Yes,
safe.
I will definitely.
The 2 words, yeah.
Take care.
Yeah.